Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming today. It's a beautiful day down here on the Blue Water Quay in Mackay. We meet here every Saturday, 10 a.m. Come along. We'll look forward to seeing and meeting new people all the time. I just want to follow up on an issue we spoke about recently regarding the Gordon White Library in Mackay. The council had decided to close the Gordon White Library and use it for something else, and relocate the library services out to the Northern Beaches hub. So, quite rightly, a lot of people were against this idea. A lot of ratepayers, a lot of people in Mackay, even if they aren't ratepayers, that use the Gordon White Library because it's convenient. It's convenient to so many in Mackay, and by moving it out to the Northern Beaches hub, it would be too hard for a lot of people to even get out there to go to the library. So what happened is they had a survey. They did a survey on what people thought. They had 800 responses just in a short survey recently about keeping the library where it is, the Gordon White Library where it is. Not only that, they received a petition of 1,500 signatures. 1,500 signatures in this short time since they've made their decision a couple of weeks ago to close down the Gordon White Library and relocate it to the Northern Hub, to the Northern Beaches hub. They have had this response already. So, council now are looking at a couple of options, 3 options actually. None of them which is to leave the whole idea on the back burner and leave the Gordon White Library where it is and not have a library out at the Northern Beaches hub. No, that's not one of the options. One option is that they move to the Northern Beaches hub and close it down. That's the original one. The second one is to keep them both, build a new library at the Northern Beaches hub and keep the one at Gordon White Library, but reduce the services to both and reduce the opening hours to both. That alone would probably mean about $1 million increase to ratepayers. $1 million increase. And the third option is to have both libraries open at full capacity, which would be a cost of about $2.2 million to ratepayers. So the decision they're going to make in the long run is going to be, the whole decision would be considering how much it's going to cost ratepayers and keeping that to a minimum. Absolute ridiculous when you think that the new policy that they have of developing the Mackay region policy, as I spoke about a couple of weeks ago, was a company called Solana are going to build a aged care facility out at Northern Beaches there, out at Rural View rather, of 144 dwellings. Okay, and the council, in their new developing Mackay region policy, have waived $1 million of the fees and charges that that company would normally have to pay to go through this development. And this was for the second and third stage of the development. So it's quite all right to not charge a multi-million dollar company that wants to build a development in Mackay, not charge them $1 million, right? But charge the ratepayers of Mackay to move our library when we don't want it moved $1 million or more. So come on, council, be fair. You're not considering the ratepayers as of any importance in your planning. Be upfront and more honest with us. We don't want the Gordon White Library moved. We don't necessarily need a library, a standalone library at the Northern Beaches hub, unless of course it's going to be a 15-minute city, which is quite likely on the cards with everything that's been happening out there at the Northern Beaches hub. So just beware, people. The council should be working for you and make them accountable. Also, just following on about the Giggle versus Tickle court case that Tim spoke about, the response around the world of this case is amazing. There are so many of our genuine people in our country here that do not accept that our women and our girls are not protected in our country. They have no protection, and it's court cases and rulings like this that make it even more detrimental to our children and ourselves, the women of Australia. You can say all you like about your genders. There are two genders, women, men, male, female. Two genders. We want our safe space. We do not want men to come along to functions that are for women only or girls only. We do not want men to be in our toilets, our public toilets and our public spaces that are for girls and women only. And we do not want men in our sporting teams, in our sporting organisations, competing against women and girls. It's not that hard to understand. We have fought for many, many years, or some organisations have fought for many, many years for women's rights. I think my grandmother would have had more rights when in her day, and she was born in the 1890s, she's no longer with us, unfortunately, but she would have had more rights in her 90 years than we ever see now. So, we're calling out, protect the women and children of our country. We have upstanding people like Kirralie Smith fighting for us. Lyle Shelton from the Family First Party spoke out about drag queen story time for children and how inappropriate it was. It is in his 7th year of litigation on that case. A marvellous man, a lot of time, a lot of his money to fight an issue that he is really, really against it for his own reasons and to support the women and girls of Australia. So Celine Baumgarten, she's a mother who raised the concerns about a group in a school that was speaking about Celine Baumgarten, a mother who identified an issue at her school with inappropriate group being exposing the children to inappropriate details. So Celine Baumgarten, all of these people are speaking out. It's not only Sal Grover, and we commend each and every one of you, and there's so many more. There are MPs in our parliaments that have been speaking out, both male and female. Come on, dads. Come on, men of Australia. Speak out and stop this happening to your women and your children. We no longer want it to be in our society, and we need it gone. Thank you.